So I have my notes, but did I pull up what I needed on my phone before we started this? No. Hello my lovely friends, it's Margaret and welcome back to my channel. Today I am coming at you with a real live TBR. It's not just like what we're doing for the Avengers, it's like an actual TBR for readathons and stuff. I found several I wanted to do. And I chose a few from that list. I was like, Margaret, you can't do like 7 different readathons, you need to choose. So I chose. If you're interested in my Vaultathon TBR, I'm not going to be discussing that in this particular video because I've already made a video on that. So like, if you're interested in that, go ahead and go check that out. I will have it linked up in the cards and in the description box. But like, I'm not gonna go over that a second time because that would just bore you. So let's start off as usual with the Avengers. I'm gonna try and keep this really short because I don't have a lot of room on my memory card and I don't have a lot of time in my day. So first things that you need to know is obviously we are watching movies. This month we are watching, I don't remember which movies, dang it. Why am I such a mess? The first movie that we are going to be watching is Age of Ultron. We are watching that on July 10th, and then we will also be watching Ant-Man on July 17th. This is my first time seeing Ant-Man because I don't remember why I didn't, but like I didn't have people to go to the movies with when Ant-Man came out, I guess, or interest, or I don't entirely know. I know I have made a mistake in not seeing Ant-Man, okay? I do acknowledge this. The next thing you need to know about what we're doing in July is what our group book is. That is the Song of Wraiths and Ruins by Roseanne Brown. And this is an African-inspired fantasy about Malik and Karina. Malik is trying to save his sister. Karina is trying to resurrect her mother, and she decides the best way to do that is to hold a contest to figure out who she's going to marry, and then is she going to kill them? Is she going to... I am not entirely... Oh, she needs the beating heart of a king, and she is a queen, and so she's decided she's going to just marry someone and kill them to bring her mother back. I mean, if you really love your mom, go for it. I've been waiting so long to read this book. I actually was planning on starting it like way earlier this year, and then we chose it as the group book for July, and that put some of my plans on the back burner for a little bit. But we're here, we're ready to go, it's happening. So the characters that we're releasing in this month, I'm not really going to go into what everything's going to, all of their prompts and everything like I do every month because we have a lot to cover today, but we are releasing Captain Marvel. I will not be doing Captain Marvel this month because I am still, as usual, behind. One of these days I will actually sit down and figure out what Avengers that I have. The one thing I do want to mention is the group book does... You really can't see that pretty book. Hold on. The group book does cover a couple of things on Captain Marvel's book. Those are Book About a Displaced Character and Unlikely Alliance. It may cover others. We haven't read the book. We don't know. If you find other things, go for it. And then the second character that we are releasing, the one that I will be working on, is a Black Panther. The group book on this one covers author is from Africa, character thrust into power, and about a family legacy. So the next book I am going to be reading to complete Chalice Board is Witch Shadow by Susan Dennard. This is my most anticipated release of the year, I believe. I've been waiting for this for so long. I've been waiting for this since I finished Bloodwitch. This is the 4th book in the Witchlands series. It is about a world that is just a mess. Magically, things are going wrong, and it starts out with a truth witch named Safi and her her thread sister, I guess is the word that they use, Azult, who is on the cover of this book, and they are escaping some political forces that want Safi because she is one of the only known truth witches to exist, and truth witches, by their way they're named, they are able to tell whether or not someone is telling the truth. This is going to complete purple on the cover, about a character that is bilingual, and then nature is powerful because many of these witches in this series, they're like wind witches and water witches and fire witches, and so like very different natural things that are able to do that are shown in this. The final book that I am going to be reading is Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor. I don't know a terrible much about this book. I know it is about a character who her mother was raped during the just like annihilation of her mom's village, and so she doesn't have like her future is expected to have a lot of violence, and then she discovers that she has this very particular magic. This one is going to cover Afrofuturism and set on a different continent. After that, I am doing the middle grade magic readathon. I have 2 friends who are hosts for this, Kara from Wild Book Garden and Kiera from Kiera the Scrivener. Both are hosts for this readathon, and so I have tried in picking out my books to find books that met multiple prompts because I think there's like 12 prompts and I wanted to get as many as I could. So the first book that I will be reading is The Stars of Whistling Ridge by Cindy Baldwin. So this book is about a girl whose mother is a star, and her mother, they go around the country granting wishes or something like that, and then the main character ends up stealing her mother's jar of witches, which forces them to go back to the town that her mother is from, or where her mother's family lives. And the entire point is that the main character, she just wants to settle and be in one spot, and that's what she's trying to do. This is supposed to cover the prompts for Hannah Khan, Grace Lynn, and Jason Reynolds. The next one that I'm going to be reading for that is Howls Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This is about Sophie. She is the eldest sister of 3, and in the land of Ingrid, everyone knows that if you're the eldest sister of 3, your future is just gonna be sad. They say it much better in the first, hold on. Everyone knows you are the one who will fail first and worst if the 3 of you set out to seek your fortune. I absolutely adore this book. I love what Diana Wynne Jones has to say about sisters and women supporting each other, and also just the fact that Sophie decides, because she gets cursed by this witch to be an old woman, and she decides the rational course of action is to leave all civilization and go out in the countryside of Ingary and become the cleaning lady for the wizard Howl, who everyone thinks is an absolute monster who eats young women's hearts out. Like, on the one hand, I highly identify with Sophie and how she feels about her life, and on the other hand, how is that the smart thing to do? This is going to cover Catherine Applegate and Ellen Montgomery for the prompts. I don't remember what they all are because I just wrote down the authors' names and I am too lazy to go look them up. The next book I'm going to be reading for this is Arusha and the End of Time by Roshni Chokshi. This I have been meaning to read for a while because it is the very first book that was released for the Rick Riordan Presents line. I absolutely adore the fact that he sat down and was like, okay, I'm going to make an opportunity for all of these other people to write about their cultures and their mythologies or folklore or whatever is going on. I like the fact that he recognized that there are stories out there that he is not the person to tell, and he needs to make space for people to tell them because they are their stories and people aren't getting the opportunity to tell them. Do I know what's going on in this book? No, I just know that I've read Roshni Chokshi before and I liked what I read from her. So I believe there is like a cursed object. There is a lamp of Barata and it is cursed, and her friends dare her to prove that it is cursed, and then she unwittingly frees some great supernatural force. This one is going to cover the Roshni Chokshi prompt, obviously, Tahira Mafi, and I can't read my handwriting, so I apologize if this is incorrect, but Anna Mariana. The next book that I am going to be reading is The Magical Imperfect by Chris Barron. This is a book written in verse. It is about Etan, and he is dealing with the fact that his mother has left, and the way he deals with that is he has gone mute. He is not speaking to anyone, and he ends up making friends with Malia, who kind of lives, I don't know if it's at the edge of town, but she lives in isolation because her eczema has progressed to a point where you can see it on her face, and the bullying got so intense that she just dropped out of school, or her parents pulled her out of school. And so she doesn't get out much, and he meets her and they form this friendship. That's all I know about it. I didn't really need to know much more except for the fact that there is a girl on the cover that has a eczema patch that is very visibly on her face, and I just like I don't think you understand. I drove to the bookstore and I was sitting in the parking lot like getting ready to go get this book and feeling like my emotions were going to go crazy. This is going to cover the Kwame Alexander prompts and then Frances Harding? Something like that. I, again, can't read my handwriting. And then the final book that I am reading for this is Hurricane Child by Kaysen Callender. I don't remember much about what this is about either. I've just heard really, really good things about this on BookTube. I know it is set down in the Caribbean area, and it's the aftermath of a hurricane. This is going to cover the prompts for Kaysen Callender, obviously, and Jacqueline Woods. And the final thing I am participating in is the Fullmetal Challenge. This is a Fullmetal Alchemist like 3-month challenge that my friend Sarah from novel Serendipity is going to be doing or is doing over the month of July. Well, is doing through July, August, and September. Every single one of these books is already on a TBR for this month. The only book that I haven't talked about yet is on my Voltathon TBR because it is the Voltathon group. So the first prompt for the Fullmetal Challenge is Child Allowance, and that is to read a children's or middle grade book. Obviously, I'm reading a whole bunch of them, but specifically, I'm going to be doing The Stars of Whispering Ridge. One thing I will say is you're not allowed to double up on prompts on this, so just like each one of these has to be a separate book. because Sarah's not as nice as I am when it comes to readathon. So the next prompt for this is a list of ingredients, and that is to read a book over 400 pages. I will be reading Witch Shadow for this particular prompt, because why not make this work for as many things as possible? The next prompt is human composition, and that is to read a book with blue or water on the cover. I'm going to be reading Hurricane Child because there is water on the cover. The fourth prompt is Wax Wings, and that is to read a book with mythology or lore. Arusha, obviously, is going to fulfill that prompt. And then the final prompt, and the final book that we need to talk about in this video is Keep Moving Forward, a book with a character with a physical or mental disability. I am going to be reading The Sound of Stars. So this is about Ellie and Morris. Ellie is a teen girl. She has a library that she's been running underground because aliens have taken over, and things like books and music and those things, they have been banned by the aliens who have taken over. All you're allowed to do is like basically work and put your time in and all of that stuff. And so Ellie has been running this underground library, and then this alien named Morris, he finds out about it, and he uses it to blackmail her to get more music because he needs music for something he is doing. I really enjoyed it. It was a very nice, like, light YA sci-fi. It's very, like, if you're trying to get into sci-fi, I highly recommend this book because it's set on Earth. There's enough familiarity that you're not having to really work hard on remembering world building and stuff. As far as physical or mental disability goes, Ellie suffers both from a thyroid condition that it's like she has to take medication or she dies, and she also has, I believe it is anxiety. It's either anxiety or depression. I can't find in the acknowledgments which one it is, but I do know that it's one of, I'm pretty sure it's anxiety rep. I'm pretty sure. She also is demisexual. So, demisexual and bi, I believe. Or maybe that's just the cover. But just like, this is just read. So those are most of the books that I will be reading in the month of July, or trying to read. You know how my TBRs go. Although since I'm trying to actually complete specific readathons, this might actually work out better for me. Some of these, hopefully, I will read on an audiobook. Hopefully. So if you're feeling chatty, let me know in the comments, what is a book that you are reading in the month of July? What's something that you're currently reading right now? How do you feel about it? What are your thoughts? If you are not feeling chatty, please leave me a star emoji for The Sound of Stars. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, there will be videos over here. If you would like to help support my channel, it would be great if you could check those out. And if you could subscribe if you are not already subscribed. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!